Now in this video lecture we will go through these terms: racemic mixture, racemization, resolution, asymmetric synthesis and mesocompound, right? In previous video lecture we have done in detail what is optical activity and what is optical isomerism, right? Before understanding these terms, make sure you understand what is optical isomerism and what are optical isomers and enantiomers and their behavior towards plane polarized light. Just to brief you on it, let's just take example of lactic acid that shows optical activity, and it has two forms, D lactic acid and L lactic acid, right? Both these are optical isomers, and these optical isomers we call them as enantiomers, right? And these enantiomers, right, which are isomers, they differ in their behavior towards plane polarized light. One will rotate the plane polarized light towards right, which is your dextrorotatory, and the other isomer or the other enantiomer will rotate the plane of polarized light towards left, right? So this is how it looks like. If you look at its mirror image in the mirror, this is how it will look like. Right? You can see that its atoms, right, or its groups like OH group, H group, right, CH3 group, COH group, these groups are arranged differently in space, right? So these two are optical isomers, right? And these optical isomers are those isomers whose mirror images are also not superimposable. That is, this lactic acid is not superimposable on its mirror image, this, right? It will not completely overlap on its mirror image. This is what it means when we say it will not superimpose on its mirror image, right? So these two are optical isomers which we call as enantiomers, right? One is D, which will rotate the plane of polarized light. Suppose you have D lactic acid here, it will rotate the plane of polarized light like this towards right by an angle, right, which is angle of rotation. And the L form, which is your leviorotatory, will rotate the plane of polarized light towards left. It will move like this. It will rotate the plane of polarized light towards left by an angle, which is the angle of rotation, right? So these are optical isomers, non-superimposable mirror images, right? Carbon atom is asymmetric, right? And this molecule is chiral molecule because carbon is connected to 4 different groups, right? Now let's look at the racemic mixture. Racemic mixture, we also call racemic mixture, we also call it as DL or DL mixture. Now DL mixture, if you remember, when we studied optical activity, we said that there are some compounds that rotate the plane of polarized light towards left. Some will rotate towards right, these two. Now there are some compounds that will not rotate the plane of polarized light. The reason being is, I'll just tell you. The reason being, they may be DL mixture or the racemic mixture. That is a mixture that contains equal amounts of D form and L form, right? That is the racemic mixture, right? And why it will not have any effect on the plane of polarized light? That means plane of polarized light will not be rotated by an angle towards right or left, right? The plane of the plane polarized light will remain same after crossing the racemic mixture. Why? Because this mixture is an equal amount of, consists of an equal amount of D form and L form, or it has equal amounts of enantiomers, both the enantiomers. Because remember, these two are enantiomers. Optical isomers are enantiomers, right? Optical isomers are enantiomers, right? So when you pass the plane of polarized light through racemic mixture, it has D form and it has L form, right? Now D form will try to rotate the plane of polarized light towards right, and L form will rotate the plane of polarized light towards left, right? So in a mixture that has this and this form in equal amount, the net effect will be net effect on plane polarized light, plane polarized light is 0. Net effect is 0. That means it will not rotate the plane of polarized light, right? No rotation, right? Because if D will try to rotate it towards right, then L will try to rotate it towards left, right? Just understand it this way: if you have a racemic mixture, it has equal amounts of D and L form, right? So one will try to rotate it in right direction, one will try to rotate it in left direction, right? So what rotation is done by D form would be compensated by the rotation which is caused by L form, right? So resulting into net rotation 0. So this is your racemic mixture, right? And one thing, it is not that this racemic mixture is optically inactive, but its components D and L form are not optically active, right? Because one is trying to rotate it in right direction, one is trying to rotate it in left direction, right? But due to the net effect, the rotation is 0, right? Which is like an optically inactive compound. But this is a mixture of D and L form, right? The components are optically active, but the mixture is optically inactive, right? Now the other term is racemization. Racemization is, you can just look at the word racemic mixture and racemization. Racemization is when you create a racemic mixture, when you make a racemic mixture from either a D form or an L form, right? Suppose you have a D isomer and you want to make a racemic mixture. So what you will do is you will convert one half of the isomer, D isomer, into L isomer, right? This is known as, so when one half will turn into L isomer, what you will get is a racemic mixture, right? So this is what is racemization. Racemization is basically the process of converting D or L form of an optically active substance into racemic mixture, right? Converting D form or L form into racemic mixture, right? So what you are basically doing is, suppose you have 2D, two molecules of any D isomer, right? And you want to convert it into a racemic mixture. So what you will do is you will convert half of D, right? You will convert half of D into its L form, right? So half of D means 1D. 1D will convert into 1L. That is, half of 2D will convert into a levorotatory form, the other isomer, right? So 2D will convert into 1D plus 1L, right? So what is this? This is your racemic mixture, right? So the process of converting D isomer or L isomer, similarly if you have L isomer, say, so what you will do is you will convert half of L into its isomer D form, right? So now what you will get is 1L plus 1D, which is a racemic mixture. So racemization is a process of converting an optically active form or optically active isomer into racemic mixture by converting half of the optically active compound into its enantiomer, right? So what you are basically doing is, these two are enantiomer. D and L forms are enantiomer are enantiomers among one another, between one another, right? These two are enantiomers. So what you are basically doing is, you are converting half of the optically active substance or compound into its enantiomer, right? So this is like converting half of optically active compound. Half of optically active compound can be D or L form into its enantiomer. So if you have a D isomer, right, then you will convert it into its enantiomer L isomer. If you have a L isomer, then you will convert half of L into D, right? These are your L and D. So what you will get is a racemic mixture, right? Now the other thing is your resolution. Resolution is taken from the word resolving. So you are resolving something, right? What you are resolving is resolving racemic mixture into its D and L form. Now suppose this is kind of reverse of racemization, not exactly reverse of racemization, but you can think it like that, right? Resolving racemic mixture into its D and L form. Suppose you have a DL racemic mixture, you will resolve it into its D form plus L form, right? You will separate the two form. Basically what you are doing is, this is a separation technique where you have a mixture, right, and you are separating the mixture into its components, right? So mixture here is the racemic mixture, and what are its components? D form, right, and L form, right? So using resolution, right, using various techniques, separation techniques in resolution, you will resolve DL mixture into D form and L form, right? D and L form are components of racemic mixture, right? This is what resolution is. If you just think of other techniques also, like distillation, where you distill, right, a mixture of liquids, fractional distillation, right? What you are doing basically is, in fractional distillation you are separating different liquids into different fractions. So here also you have a mixture, DL mixture, you are separating its D and L form, right? This is your resolution, right? Resolving racemic mixture into its D and L form, and it's a little it's not easy to separate D and L form, right, from a racemic mixture, because D and L form, right, are both enantiomers, and enantiomers have same physical and chemical properties. Nearly they have all same physical and chemical properties, and in separation techniques we basically make use of different physical properties, right, and chemical properties to separate the components. So here we use special techniques to separate D and L form from the racemic mixture, right, which is beyond the scope of this course, right? You will have that, you will get to know the resolution techniques in higher classes, right? I hope this is clear. Then you have something known as asymmetric synthesis. Asymmetric synthesis. Asymmetric, the carbon atom here, this carbon atom is asymmetric, right? So asymmetric carbon atom is present in chiral molecules, right? And chiral molecules we know are optically active, right? So asymmetric synthesis is synthesizing compounds that have asymmetric carbon atoms, right? And compounds that have asymmetric carbon atoms are your optically active compounds, right? So this is converting an optically inactive compound into optically active compound, right? And we know that optically active compound has an asymmetric carbon atom, right? So this is converting optically active compound, optically inactive compound into optically active compound, right? This is your asymmetric synthesis, right? Just understand, asymmetric synthesis is where you are trying to synthesize a compound that has an asymmetric carbon atom like this. That is the carbon atom which is connected to 4 different atoms or groups, right? And such compounds are chiral compounds, right? Chiral molecules, and we know that chiral molecules are optically active compound, right? So this is, and we do it in asymmetric synthesis. We are converting an optically inactive compound, that is, in which the carbon atom is symmetric, right? So converting an optically inactive compound into optically active compound is like converting a symmetric carbon, because an optically inactive compound, the carbon atom is symmetric, it is not asymmetric. This is symmetric carbon into asymmetric carbon, right? This is your asymmetric synthesis. Let's take one example. You have pyruvic acid, pyruvic acid is an optically inactive compound, right? And one thing, whenever you try to convert an optically inactive compound into an optically active compound, generally what you will get is a racemic mixture, because when you try to make an optically active compound from an optically inactive compound, the chances of getting a D isomer and an L isomer is equal, because when you are making an optically active compound, the optically active compound will either be a D form or an L form, right? So when you are trying to make an optically active compound from an optically inactive compound, the chances of getting D form and L form are equal, right? So that is why what results in asymmetric synthesis here would be a racemic mixture. What you will get would be a racemic mixture, because chances of getting a D form or an L form would be equal, right? So what you will do is, in order to get an optically active compound, right, if I try to convert this pyruvic acid, right, into an optically active compound, right, say if I reduce it, what I will get is right, this is what I will get. This is what I will get. Now I will get this compound, right? I will get D and L form of this compound. I'll get D and L form of this lactic acid. This is lactic acid. Lactic acid you can get by reduction of pyruvic acid. This is your pyruvic acid. So if you reduce pyruvic acid, right, what you will get is a lactic acid, right? So here this is your optically inactive compound, and this is your lactic acid, we know is optically active, right? But what you will get here is a racemic mixture, because chances of getting a D lactic acid and an L lactic acid would be equal, right? Now what you can do so that it does not result into a racemic mixture is, if you carry out this reaction in the presence of an optically active compound, right, then what you will get is a optically active compound, right? You will not get a racemic mixture in that case. So if I carry out this reaction in the presence of an alcohol, right? If I carry out this reaction in the presence of an optically active alcohol, right, I will get an L-lactic acid, right? Let me just rub this off. So we will carry out asymmetric synthesis in the presence of a chiral molecule. This is a condition, right? So if I do this reaction CH3, right, in the presence of a chiral alcohol, this is a chiral molecule, right, then what you will get is right, this is an ester, right, this is an ester, and we know that if you hydrolyze this ester, you will get L-lactic acid, right. So in this case, in this reaction, when asymmetric synthesis, right, is carried out in the presence of a chiral molecule, right, here this ROH is a chiral molecule, then what you will get is an optically active compound, a single isomer, either a D or a L isomer, right. It will not result into a racemic mixture like here, right. So in short, if asymmetric synthesis, right, asymmetric synthesis is basically converting an optically inactive compound like a pyruvic acid into an optically active compound like a lactic acid, right. Now this reaction, if done in the presence of a chiral molecule, right, then you will get a pure optically active compound, either a D or a L form, right. If it is not done in the presence of an optically active compound, then what you will get is a racemic mixture, right. I hope this is clear. Now the last part is your meso compound. Meso compound, if you just recall, in the last lecture we understood mesotartaric acid, right, and what are the conditions for a compound to be optically active, right. In order to understand a meso compound, you need to know the conditions required for a compound to be optically active. Once you understand that, then you will understand what is a meso compound, right. So the conditions are, the condition for a compound to be optically active is it should have an asymmetric carbon atom like this, right, which is connected to 4 different atoms or groups, right. And the second thing is the molecule should be disymmetric. 2 things, right. For an optically active compound, conditions are, first, asymmetric carbon atom, second is disymmetric molecule, should be disymmetric molecule. Now these 2 conditions should be satisfied, right, to declare a compound to be optically active compound. Suppose you have an asymmetric carbon atom, maybe 1 or 2, but the molecule is disymmetric, then it would not be an optically active compound, right. This is what we have already seen in previous lecture in mesotartaric acid, right, where mesotartaric acid has 2 chiral carbons, right, 2 asymmetric carbons, that means, but it's an optically inactive compound because it has a plane of symmetry. It is not a disymmetric molecule. It is symmetric molecule, right. So molecule should not be symmetric molecule, it should be disymmetric as per the conditions, right? So let's look into the tartaric acid. Tartaric acid is a meso compound. So such compounds that in spite of having chiral carbon atom are optically inactive are meso compounds, right? So meso compound are those compounds that are optically inactive in spite of having or possessing asymmetric carbon atom, right? The example is, and the reason being why they are optically inactive in spite of having a chiral carbon atom is because it possesses element of symmetry, which may be a plane of symmetry or an axis of symmetry, rotation axis of symmetry, right? So these such compounds are meso compounds, right? Right? Sorry, this is your tartaric acid. It has two optically active carbons, this carbon and this carbon. Both are optically active carbon. But still it has two chiral carbon atoms, right? This carbon atom. Both are chiral carbon atoms, both are asymmetric carbon atoms, right? But still this compound is optically inactive compound. Why? Because it possesses a plane of symmetry that passes through this point, right? It possesses this plane of symmetry. That is why this is an optically inactive compound, right? One half of the molecule, this molecule, can be superimposed on the below molecule, right? This is what it means, right? Just see, these two molecules, these two halves are exactly alike, they are same, right? And one half can be superimposed on the other half, right? So this due to the plane of symmetry, one half can be superimposed on the other half, right? Now if we look, the action of plane of polarized light on this compound is, we said that the meso compounds are optically inactive. That means they will not rotate the plane of polarized light. Now this compound has two chiral carbons, right? But still we say it will not rotate the plane of polarized light. Why not? Like a racemic mixture, right? It's behaving like a racemic mixture. Because if you see, it has two halves, this half and this half. If one will try to rotate it in this direction, right, then the other will try to rotate it in the opposite direction, right, resulting into zero rotation, right? Rotation caused by one half would be cancelled by the other half, right? So it has no effect on the plane of polarized light, right? So these such compounds are your meso compounds, right? And like I said, the rotation caused by upper half is compensated by the rotation caused by the lower half portion, and the net rotation is zero, right? This is known as internal compensation, right? Where the rotation caused by one half is compensated by rotation caused by the other half, right? This is known as internal compensation, right? The similar thing we saw in racemic mixture, where the D form, right, where the D form yeah, where the D form will rotate the light towards right and one form will rotate